Hi, everybody. This is Rhonda Martin, your host for my show. You got something to say? I'm sitting here today with Cody Caplin. He's from Eel River out in New Brunswick. And just to let you know all as well that this is with realpeoples.media. So one of the things that I wanted to bring forth to the listeners out there is we're going to talk a little bit about Cody and his battle, I guess, and being able to I guess just carry on with his traditions. I'm gonna let Cody tell you more about what's going on with him. So right now he's facing a court issue that is basically telling him that he can't fish where he wants to fish, and then he has to follow certain procedures and policies. But I think hearing it from Cody himself about what's going on, how it happened, and we're going to take it from there. So let's bring Cody on and we'll take it from there.
Hey guys, my name's Cody Caplin. So what's going on is I'm getting charged under the Fishery Act. I'm looking at 10 charges. Most of them they're not even going after, like they're not even mentioned in court yet. I think they're just trying to get me like for like illegal fishing under the FSC license. They're saying I was fishing the wrong way and I wasn't using the right buoys and the right the right information, like my band number and all that, which is, it's not true. I was like they're saying we were dragging for traps without buoys, but the thing is that's not what was going on. We have a duty as fishermen to look for lost traps, because if not, they could be ghost traps, right? They're fishing and they're just sitting at the bottom of the ocean, and it's bad for the substrate, the ecosystem, right? Yeah, that doesn't help. DFO picks up our gear all year long, even the tag gear.
If I could interrupt you for a minute, how is it that I guess basically so do you guys have a set time to fish, like a certain part of the year? Yep. And then are you I guess maybe under the Fisheries Act they say you can only pull out so much?
Yeah, so basically it's FSC, it's food, social, and ceremonial. Like they don't let us fish under our section 25 and 35 under like the Constitution. Like you can't, we're not, they think that we don't have the rights. They say so themselves. Like we can only fish under the license that they offer to the band, the FSC agreements, which is that agreement. It kills us. They're disabling their own people by signing.
You're talking, who's disabling their own people?
The band council is.
The band council.
Yeah, we got like 2 people, 3 people signing a document that dictates all our lives, like all the like 700 people. Like, how is that right? It's not.
So what they do, if you don't mind me just interrupting for a minute, what they do is they sign this agreement, and so the government offers, it's an agreement of $216,000. That's and these fundings are for employment, to employ our ranger program. So instead of using own source revenue or or they can put into the budget, into their fisheries budget, ranger program, we need this much more money for the rangers. So they go out and they sell our rights away for $216,000 just to employ these 2 people, which I believe is bull crap in the end, because that takes away us and our livelihood in the end.
Absolutely. Well, so I'm I guess you guys have the same issues with band councils as we do here on Six Nations. They're becoming, or they're wanting to be that that sole governing body over the people. But, you know, even though they are the people, right? So the same thing here on Six Nations, you know, it's comprised, the main councillors are all from here, right? Well, we got 9 and one pretend chief. Like, I won't ever give them that respect of being, you know, because we have our traditional chiefs, right? So the way I look at it is, you know, when these band councils set up to go against the people, they don't get my respect for that, right? But if you know, and that's the sad part about it, because to me that tells me they're only worried about the paycheck that they get.
Yep.
And where are they getting it from, right?
The government.
Federal, right? From the government of Canada. So so they're gonna be favorable to them as they are to their own people, even though they're going to look you right in the face and say, yeah, you know, this is what's going to work, this is what they're going to do. So we need to stand back and say, you know, no, just stand back and say, no, you go stand over there. You know, we know who we are as a people, we know what our rights are as a people, and they're fighting you for those rights.
Yep.
Right. So, and then they're going to cause you more. They're going to cause more hardship because it's going to cost you money. It's going to cost you money to stand up for yourself. Right.
Absolutely.
So if you, pardon?
It's going to cost about 80,000 in the end, probably, with my fine and lawyer fees. That's like a year of work.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
for and if not longer for most people, you know what I mean? And that justice system is not geared to give you favorable outcomes, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you can, maybe just tell us a little bit about those charges.
I don't have them with me right now, but I'm looking at, they're saying I was fishing in a closed season. They're saying I was fishing illegally.
Possession of lobster.
Possession of lobster. They're saying, what else?
Possession of undersized lobster.
They're saying possession of undersized lobster.
Gauge for that year ago.
Yeah, but we did have the correct gauge, and they have video footage of us actually gauging every single lobster. So I don't know. They're not even looking for that right now. I think they're gonna drop those charges. The undersized ones. They just they throw a bunch of charges at you, right? So they could get you a one that sticks. The big one.
So I believe it was a couple years ago, if not last year, there was a big dispute with in your area, right? With the fishing.
Yeah. Well, not in my area. It was, but it was close. It was Nova Scotia. It was pretty much a lobster war down there. Yeah, a lot of racism being exposed. The RCMP were actually standing there watching the commercial fishermen and their families and friends steal lobster right from First Nation people. Dump their lobsters out. They killed. There was many that got killed. But then they burnt the building. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they got the guy that burned it though. They charged them, and it's crazy.
The reason I brought that up is because, you know, like, what happens in one area is just going to trickle down to all the other areas until they become successful in preventing your own natural way of life, is how I look at it.
Yeah. No.
Would you agree? Would you agree? Or
I agree with that. Yeah. Stopping us from fishing like our traditional way, like our living, everything, every aspect. They're trying to stop us. Like, we're supposed to have treaties like that bring us together. We're supposed to like share the resources and share the land, and we just keep getting this like shit on the brunt end of the stick, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Been
Mm-hmm.
like that. I can remember.
Yeah, and just knowing that this is happening like all across Canada, you know, like
Mhm.
in almost every indigenous aspect of our natural way of doing anything, hunting, fishing, gathering, you know,
Yeah.
pretty soon they're gonna stop us from picking strawberries, or they're gonna try,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I agree, yeah.
So that's why I like looking for situations such as yours, because it tells the people from ocean to ocean and from all four directions of how our people are affected by the
Mhm.
colonialism that they're putting out there, and they're using the bank councils to do their dirty work.
Yep.
And they're listening,
Mhm.
they're doing it.
They don't know
And-
what they're doing. They're going to turn us into municipalities is what's going to happen. We're going to be
Mhm.
just going to be like our neighbors. We're all going to pay taxes and, you know, we're going to be slaves to the system.
Absolutely, I agree. And I think too that you know what, taking our people into courts just to like just to take our money,
Yeah, it's to oppress us
you know,
more.
to take your hard work, your blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about, they know damn well we have the rights that we have,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
So when you walk into that courtroom, don't walk into that courtroom thinking, you know, shit, now how much is this going to cost me? Walk into that courtroom and just say, well, I'm ready. What else you going to
Yeah.
take away from me? You
Mhm.
know? So, and finding, you know, yeah, you want to get a good lawyer who can do that for you, but remember, you have a voice too.
Mhm.
You know, you're entitled to have your say. You're entitled to stand in
I-
front of that courtroom
Mhm.
and prove who you are. Like, you
Yeah.
know, like, and remember, we're in Canada. So, you know, not that it's the greatest place to live, but you know, it's not as shitty as some of the other countries out there.
Mhm.
Right.
Yep.
But all in all, Canada's very, very ignorant to
Yeah,
our people's way of life.
they really are.
Yeah. So now we can work on developing a story for you guys, and let's get that GoFundMe page going. Let's see what happens. When is your next court date going to be?
My next court date, April. It's August 11th and 12th. Another 2 days of trial.
August 11th and 12th
Yeah. So this is going to be 4 days now.
that you've had to go to court?
Yeah, I just did 2. I was only scheduled for 2 days, but I guess they ran longer on their testimonies or their witnesses or whatever. So now they need another 2 days.
That could be a good thing.
Yeah,
That really could be a good thing.
no, it could, because the judge said himself, if it goes past a certain time frame for the Jordan application, I believe it. And so if I go past that time frame, it's like 18 months or something. They have to throw it out. So
Drag it on. So drag it on. Well, you know, I mean, like, the way I look at it is, you know, don't let your lawyer tell you that you have to get this done. Don't let the courts tell you have to get this done. It's coming out of your pocket.
Mhm.
You know, and then, you know, you can even walk up and tell the judge yourself, you know, like, hey man, I need more time because you need to understand who I am and where I'm coming from. If you want me to understand your courtroom and your system, then take the time to understand mine.
Mhm.
You know, if your lawyer won't say that for you, then I will.
Mhm.
Hey, I'm still, you know, I'm serious. I've advocated in many courtrooms here in Canada, here in Ontario, you know,
Okay.
like, so, I think the more support you garden towards for yourself, for you, for both of you, for your community, for your people, right? I don't think, you know, like, they're gonna try and get you to plead guilty. That's all.
Oh, I'll never
You know,
hold the
they just
process.
want you to plead guilty and take your money, right? They don't care
I
that
told
you
the
got started
prosecutor when
over.
I went, no deals. There's going to be no agreed statement of facts. I said I can't plead guilty for something that I didn't do, and she was trying to get me to agree on a statement of facts, but my lawyers just got told her like we're not doing that.
Well, don't plead guilty to something that you're rightfully doing.
Yeah.
I mean, if you feel you've done wrong, then yeah, we shouldn't even be talking. You know what I mean? Like, and it's sad. Like I seen what the justice system did to my son, right? Like just plead guilty, you'll be out in 2 days. You know, just plead guilty, you'll be out in a month. And, you know, otherwise, and again, it was always, you know, you're going to get probation, you're going to get, you know, house arrest, you're going to pay fines. Like, you know, they just throw so much at you that you're just like, you know, people be just like, all right, well, I just won't, I'll fuck it. I'll go do the jail time. But each time you plead guilty, it's always going to be there, right? It's always going to be in that court system because you're an adult now. What you plead, you know, from the time you're 18 to the time you die, it's always going to be there, you know, because that's what the court systems do, right? They gather up all of this and say, oh, you know, he did this, he did that, he did this. Why should we just, you know, drop his charges? Right?
Yep.
And then they wear you down, they break you down. Well, you know, sometimes we have to make that decision whether or not, you know, we're going to accept that and just say to hell with it, carry on. You know, you're just going to make me work harder. Or are we going to stand in front of them and just say, no, you can't stop me from fishing. You know, unless you know, like you can't, they'll try, they're going to try. And that's what they're doing. Well, they've done it to, you know, they've already done it to Kyle. So why should you be any different? Right?
Yeah. So
maybe this is where you can stand up and say, just because you did it to one doesn't mean you can do it to all of us. Yeah. Right. And then who knows? I think that once our people start standing up for, you know, natural air and water, you know, we have that inherent right to fish. We have that inherent right to hunt and to gather, you know, mind you, like, yeah, we're, you know, a closed season. Well, you know, sometimes those provincial and federal regulations don't mean shit when you got a family to feed. You know what I mean? I mean, like, oh, my family's starving, but I can't go hunt a deer for another 2 months. So yeah, kids, I guess it's craft dinner from here until then. Or are you gonna just say, fuck it, you're gonna go out there and get that deer and put food on the table, you know? So this to me, this is also a means of survival. Not just to you're not trying to survive to prosper, you're surviving to live.
Yep.
So yeah, of course the courts are going to tell you you're wrong. That's their job. Right? So I think that you know, like from here on in, you know, like hopefully we can keep the territories across the planet, you know, about all these stances that our people are having to make. You know, you see what's happening. You see what's happening with Wet'suwet'en, right? I mean, they're getting charged up the yin yang. They're getting, you know, they're getting arrested, but they get out of jail. They go right back there.
Yeah.
You know, so, and then we got you guys over here, right? Now that's a strong force right there. You know, because you guys are taking that, no matter the outcome, you guys are taking it and you're going to go with it. And yeah, we can get so many people behind us, you know, we need that. We need to inform the other people, like our people all over the world, basically, about the atrocities that they're still putting out there against our people.
Yeah.
Like you said, like the average, like every other average non-native person, white person, that full, you know, you want to be a full-fledged Canadian, go ahead. You know, get off the land, throw away your bank card. They'll get that. Throw away your status card or whatever it is that makes you who you are. Go ahead, go be the Canadian. Go live out there then, you know. Or do
Mhm.
we maintain that stance? Because you know what? You're going to be who you are right till you die.
Mhm.
That ain't going to change.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I wish you guys all the best in any form that I can help, whether it's through social media, sharing your things on social media. Maybe we could do another update in a couple of weeks, maybe after your court date, or
Yeah.
maybe even before, just to kind of give you some, maybe we can do a call in,
Yeah.
And see what kind of support is out there for our people. And because you're not doing nothing wrong.
No, I'm not.
So I don't know how we're gonna I don't know how we're going to I don't know. It would be really cool if we could get a Zoom in court. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And then you can have people, address your situation as well. You
Mhm.
know? Like what's happening in your community then? How do they feel about what's going on with you guys?
They're not I tried to get help from our band and they're not standing with us. I tried to make it I went in there with a letter and I tried to make it a rights-based case, because it's our right, our traditional rights to fish and hunt and gather, and they
Absolutely.
wouldn't leave. They wouldn't even listen to me. They kind of just turned their heads and they give me the okay kind of thing, like yeah, we'll see what we can do. You know how band councils are. We'll do our best. And
Yep.
got back to them and they just kept saying the same thing. Oh, we'll see. But in the end, I shouldn't have, but I ended up having to plead guilty because I didn't have the financial needs to keep going anymore.
Mhm.
And I went to my band and I said I need help. I need to pay my lawyer fees, and they wouldn't help me.
Mhm.
No, why they wouldn't help you? Because I'll tell you why. Because I spoke to the band's lawyer. His name is Derek Simon. He wrote me a letter stating they couldn't help me. I'm involved in a big class action lawsuit against Canada. There's me and three others from one from PEI in Nova Scotia and another one from New Brunswick. So yeah, we're doing that, and I went in there and I asked for some help, and they wrote to the lawyer or whatever, talked to the lawyer, and the lawyer wrote to me saying that they basically couldn't help me because we didn't have rights as an individual to fish, and we only have the rights as a collective. As a band council, as a council, we have the rights, but not as an individual. But then I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Donald Marshall Jr. didn't go to friggin' court with his band. He went as an individual. So, they're not going to help us. They signed it.
Once they sign that agreement, the federal government has all the control over us. DFO has control over us. Once that agreement signed, our band has no more control. It's the government has control of us.
Mm-hmm. When you say band, are you talking like your tribe or your band office?
Our band office.
Yeah.
Our band council.
Yeah. Well, I'm not surprised by that.
Council, yeah.
Okay, what about in the traditional aspect? Is there anybody out there that support you guys when you guys go out and is there, do you have that? Elders?
Oh yeah. There's a hereditary clan chief, Hector Pictou. He's behind us, and he came to my court, my last trial, and he plans to come to the next trial date. And he's a pretty smart guy, and he's really outspoken. Like he's gonna come to court, and he'll probably speak up and try to prove to them what they're doing is illegal. And because we know, like me and you, not a lot of people in my community know that Indian Act is actually illegal. Everything they do is illegal.
Absolutely.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and we've been living under it for almost 100 years since this elected system's been here. In 2024 it'll be 100 years, and I'm like, wow. Like that's the only thing about here is band council only has less than 2,000 voters out of 27,000.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, so they don't get to run over the people, but what they do get to do is sit behind closed doors and sign us away.
Yeah.
That's
what
that's the most sickening part, the most hurtful part that these band councils are doing. Because like I said, most of them are comprised of our own people, right?
Mm.
They live
Yep.
here in these
Yep.
communities. They live here.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, I wouldn't want to be in that office and have everybody looking down at me because of the decisions that are being made, and like I said, man, they've been designed to suppress, and they're doing a really good job of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you guys just go shut them down? If they don't want to help you, go shut them down. Then you have more court charges. Then you can have more court charges.
Yeah. The thing
I
is,
encourage. Hey, I'm sorry, but I encourage everybody, go shut your band council down, man.
Try to do it, but there's not enough people to back us. There's too many like-minded people. They're all in that same. They're stuck in that way of living. They're so used to this life and living these.
and modernize them
so
too much.
Used to living the Indian Act way that they don't know any way to live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's so it's hard to get people on your side.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want.
Well, yeah, that's that, and and that's the thing too about smaller territories, right? When you get well fed, you're most likely to stay with that because you don't want to lose it, right?
Yeah.
So, but then when you got the people, the other ones over here that are barely making it, or living the simple way of life, I guess, right? Mm-hmm. And they're the ones that are going to be, more supportive, more encouraging, and things like that, because, we all know when people got money, they're like, hey man, don't mess with my money, know? And sadly, that's what our people are becoming. We're not modernized, we're moneyized. That's all we want now. Mind you, yeah, we need money to live because we've had to adapt into this white man's world, right? So we got bills to pay. We don't have it like we did before when things were a lot more simpler, right? So what do? Like I said, they got nothing left in us. All we have left is the breath in our body. Do they want that too?
They do.
Damn right they do. Damn right they do. Mm-hmm. But you know what? Don't let them take it so easy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I say.
Yeah. Well, hence they made residential schools, eh?
Well, exactly. Right. Mm-hmm. They got a residential school in almost like every territory down. Like look what's happening. Look how many. There's 10,000 plus of our ancestral babies that have been found.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They weren't found 10 years ago. They weren't found, after every school closed, but they're being found now. And why is that?
Yeah.
Right? To me, there's a message there.
Mm-hmm.
Stand up. You got it. If we don't remain strong as to who we are, then yeah, Canada wins, right?
Yep.
So anyway, I'm glad I reached out to you guys. I don't know if there's anything else you guys want to add. But like I said, Real People's Media is and my show, I'm gonna do the best I can to help you guys, get your story out there, and hopefully it'll ripple all across, and from east to west coast and everything. Like now all eyes will be on you guys and Wasutan be like, hey man, but hey, like I said, it's hard to decide, which is more important because we're all fighting the same struggle. Mm-hmm. Right? So unless we get more people out there like you and your brother and telling the story, the real story, mm-hmm. Otherwise nobody's going to know. we're not just fighting about taxes, we're fighting about our, our natural way to live.
Yep.
So, how can they criminalize you for wanting to feed your family? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. So there's
For having us, eh?
Mhm.
Well,
Thanks a lot for having us. It's good
Yeah,
speaking
looking
with you.
forward to